What is something people are not ready to hear? I'll go first. The public school system is a polite form of incarceration. What is something people are not ready to hear?
We've been through two major recessions in the past 15 years, a global generational pandemic where we were thrown to the wolves at the expense of the rich. And everything is getting more expensive. College is more expensive. Healthcare is more expensive. Food is more expensive. Housing is more expensive. But you know what doesn't go up? Wages. And despite this income inequality being worse than it was during the French Revolution, we've seen no action on climate change, income inequality, or any of the other major issues plaguing our society right now. And the simple fact of the matter is that we are much further from legislative progress than we are from collecting heads in guillotine baskets.
What is something people are not ready to hear? I'll go first.
That everything that anybody tells you ever is always a projection of how they feel about something and has nothing to do with you as a person.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
That God and Satan are a quantum artificial intelligence that harvest our energy.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
Sinead O'Connor Me Too'd the Catholic Church in 1990 and nobody listened. And she's been completely vindicated. And yet people still refer to her as the crazy woman who ripped up a picture of the Pope.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
Here's something people might not want to hear. You know what's super embarrassing? Embarrassment. The idea of embarrassment, it's embarrassing. You know what's super embarrassing? Letting a made-up concept dictate how you live your life and whether or not you're going to be your authentic self in this life. That's embarrassing. And I know this may be harsh, but I'm saying it out of love. I'm trying to reframe it in a way that though it's harsh, hopefully maybe it'll get that, because sometimes you just need to hear it shit in a way that'll click. But don't let embarrassment stop you from living your life. Also, you're weird if you do this. If you're the type where you project that embarrassment, and don't even try to be like, oh, projecting comes from a place of da-da. I'm tired of people trying to excuse projection. That doesn't make it okay. If you're the type where you project that embarrassment onto those who are comfortable being themselves, are in a place of like they've released themselves from the shackles of embarrassment and they're comfortable being themselves, and you try to project that onto them and be like, stop, like you're being embarrassing. That's weird. I don't like that.
What is something people are not ready to hear? I'll go first. The public school system.
Autism is genetic. It's most likely running through your family if one person has it.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
If you've chronically fad dieted your whole life, you will have to gain weight before you can lose any, despite where your starting weight is. There's no other way around it. You have to correct that damage that's been done before.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
Oh, the number of answers to that question are limitless. Since we don't have that kind of time on this app, and we do find ourselves in Pride Month, I will pick one answer that's specific to that month. What any number of consenting adults do behind closed doors, no matter their race, gender, or sexual orientation, is none of your fucking business. It affects your life in no way, shape, or form. I know I'm living proof. I'm almost 5 decades old, and believe it or not, people have been gay and trans and bi my entire life. It has yet to affect me. So, get off of your cross, use the wood to build a bridge, and get the fuck over it.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
The people that you most mock or make fun of are the people who have what you want. That's why you mock them.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
You're not a bad bitch. You're not a queen. You're simply in denial that your life sucks, and you're probably a shitty person. And you use that hard-ass attitude to justify your existence.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
Being neurodivergent is more defined by whether or not you conform to the capitalist system than it is by whether or not you're mentally ill. That's not to say the experiences of neurodivergent people are not real, I'm not saying that at all. I have ADHD. I suffer the consequences of that every fucking day. And all of the problems I have with my ADHD are derived from my inability to function in a capitalist society. Like, people with ADHD often mask. That's why I'm so good at job interviews. I can nail any job interview. I have never not gotten a job when I was interviewed. But I get burned out with that job really fast. 2 years into most jobs, I stop giving a shit, and I don't care anymore whether or not that upsets people. Because I can't make my brain care. I don't derive dopamine from it. I can't make the happy juices, y'all. Don't be surprised when the population grows and neurodivergent people quit en masse from burnout because the system doesn't work for us and we cannot work for it.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
I would have to go with my I could tell you a lot, but the most fascinating one would be the story of the Titanic. So did you know that there were 3 of the wealthiest men that sank down with the Titanic? Last names were Guggenheim, Strauss, and Astor, Astor. And they were opposed to the Federal Reserve, you know, the place that prints your money and it's on the back of all your dollar bills. They were opposed to the Federal Reserve and didn't want to allow it to happen because that would make America a corporation and basically the Illuminati runs the banks. Well, JP Morgan funded basically the build of the Titanic and then backed out last minute. No Rockefellers or Rothschilds that were trying to start the Federal Reserve were on there, but the 3 wealthiest men opposed to it went down with the ship. Coincidence?
What is something people are not ready to hear?
This is a good one. People are not ready to hear that nutrition and the reduction of inflammation in your brain and body contributes to mental well-being.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
My singing voice. I want to swing from the chandelier.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
There's a 292-page document released by the CIA in which people still do not believe in them, but rappers, celebrities, politicians all tell you it's real. Wake up.
What is something people are not ready to hear?
When you find a declassified document from Department of Defense about a zombie apocalypse. But on page number 5 it states the different threats including a zombie outbreak caused by a virus.